Good evening, my fellow fourth graders. It is actually Monday evening around 9 o'clock on February 15th, our day off because of President's Day. I just got the word from the school that we are remote learning tomorrow because of the weather that is incoming right now within the area. So, just to be safe, they decided just to call it, and I got word from the school that we will be remote learning. And a couple of notes right now before I start, because this will be the math lesson. But before I really get going on that, I want to give you a little more instruction on what you're going to see tomorrow on Tuesday, February 16th, for the remote learning day. All the materials will be emailed for the lesson. So anything I do for this math lesson right here, it will be put camera pictures of the workbook pages will be put on to the attachments to the email that I send out for tomorrow. And there will be attachments for spelling in English for what we're going to be seeing tomorrow. Eventually, from stuff we learned on Friday, when you guys were on your half day, we had a guy from the intermediate unit come to teach us some Google Classroom techniques. So we're hoping that in the next near future, in the next couple of weeks, that I'm going to be teaching you guys the ins and outs of Google Classroom, so it'll be easier on you parents. Now, I want to get some surveys. I know we've gotten some ideas of what was going to be going on with your parents on how your internet works and with computers. So we're going to see what comes easier. If what I'm doing right now, doing emails with the videos I'm going to do now, is going to be simpler on remote snow days, or if the Google Classroom will work. Now, as smart as you kids are with technology and the familiarity of what you guys do with Kids Messenger, stuff like that, it shouldn't be a problem, but we'll go from there. All right. So if you guys and girls have any questions, just have your parents email me and get a hold of me, and we'll answer any questions. All right. So let's get started with today's math lesson. I typically will not do this. We got lucky the last few times on snow days. We were doing review with multiplication, stuff like that, and long division. So there's really no need to doing videos just to repeat what we've been doing, because you guys know what you're doing. Now, I know division, which the chapter we finished up last week, is a new concept to all of you boys and girls. And I know you all did pretty good on your exam from last week, but I can sense there was some struggling. So for any of you guys or girls or your parents who are concerned about long division, we're going to have a lot of emphasis on long division in the next 4 months of school. And I told you boys and girls that we'll be going back and forth with that. So let's get started. The lesson will be attached. Your book will be attached to your emails, and it will be on page 180 and 181, labeled strategy check and try and check method, which is section 7.1, chapter 7. This chapter is going to emphasize more on the crisscross multiplication, what we've learned a couple chapters ago, but it's going to take it a step farther, and it's going to add more digits to it. And then we're going to learn the ins and outs of that, and a couple new steps I'm going to do in the multi-digits. That will be in the coming days. And when we finish this chapter, we're going to get back into division and start working on that. So again, don't worry. So again, this page 180 kind of goes over the steps of answering word problems. And I've done it over and over, you guys, since day one. We do it in the morning work. The 4 steps is to figure out what the question they're asking, and typically you always look at one of the last sentence or two of the paragraph that will ask you the question of what they're trying to answer with mathematics. Step 2 would be to analyze the data, look for all the numbers. So 12 inches, 22 inches, there are 5 boys, 6 girls, stuff like that. Step 3 would be plan a strategy. Are you going to add, subtract, multiply, or divide? And then step 4 would be to solve the problem. Okay. And I also added a step in as we went on to eliminate distractors. Sometimes they throw stuff into your word problems that have nothing to do with their asking. Now, they are legitimate data, but they just don't fit into the question they're asking. So today we're going to be teaching the try and check method. So to start off the lesson, this will be at the top of page 180, which will be on your email. The answer to a problem cannot always be found right away. Okay, sometimes they don't give you enough data and you have to figure it out on your own. Some problems require several different tries before a solution can be found. The strategy to solve these problems is called the try and check method. Okay, and don't worry, boys and girls, we're going to be going over this method over the next several days, pretty much most of this lesson. So if you guys get stuck on tomorrow's lesson, it's okay. There are the question that they ask here, so listen closely because you're going to have to figure out all the data. There are two icicles hanging from the corners of a house. The only one on the shady side is 12 inches longer than the one that is on the sunny side. The sum of the lengths is 22 inches. What is the length of each icicle? Okay, now if this would have been last chapter, you would say this is insufficient because we don't know. They don't tell us what the sum is. They just give us that. They just tell you that if you add both of them up, they're 22, and that the one on the shady side is 12 inches longer than the sunny side. Of course, because on the sun side, it's going to be shorter because the sun will melt the icicle, and on the shady side, the icicles get longer. Okay, so there is a method in the try and check method. It's actually pretty cool. Okay, so we got to figure out what the question they're asking is. And the question they're asking is, what is the sum? What is the length of each icicle? Okay, step 2, what's the data? We know that the shady side is 12 inches longer and the sum of both is 22. So we know the sum of both icicles is 22 inches. Okay, and the difference of the two icicles is 12 inches. All right. Why did I do that? Inches. Okay. I can't spell inches. All right. Again, this will be in 180 and 181. Now, this is pretty cool and it's pretty simple to figure out. Okay. So we all know that the goal is we have to get to their difference to figure out what the difference is. We know that the difference is 12 inches. So we need to get our answer to equal 12. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do subtraction problems until we solve our problem. So we're going to start off what we know with our sum. Our sum is 22, okay? And we're going to take 22 and we're going to subtract it by 0. So we're going to start off with 22 and 0, okay? And of course, 22 subtracted by 0 is 22. Remember, we're trying to get to 12 inches to figure out what the difference is, okay? So our answer is going to have to equal 22. Now watch this. What you need to do is take 1 off of 22, okay? Make 22 a 21, so we're going to decrease it. While the subtraction side, we're going to take that 1 and put it over here, okay? So now we got 21 minus 1. Now when we solve that, we get 22. All right? We get 20, all right? So this isn't 12, so we got to keep going. So again, take 1 off of 21, make it 20. And then take that and put it on the other side of the difference. And some 1 makes it a 2. And if you notice that the left side is decreasing while the right side is increasing. It's pretty cool. So we went from 22 minus 0 to 21 minus 1, 20 minus 2. So you're taking away 1 and adding it to the second dividend. Okay? So let's subtract that. 20 minus 2 equals 18. We're still not at 12, but we are now getting closer. Let's do it again. So 1 subtract 20 minus 1 is 19. Take that negative, that 1 we just subtracted, and add it to the second dividend and make that a 3. 19 take away 3 is 16. Okay? Still not there yet. So let's do it again. Take 1 away from 19, make it 18, and take that 1 you just subtracted and put it on the opposite side. Now the 3 becomes a 4. Again, if you notice, this is increasing, this is decreasing. 18 minus 4 is 14. Still not there yet. Try it again. We're getting close. So take 1 away from 18, make it a 17. Take that 1 we just subtracted and add it to the second dividend and make from a 4 to a 5. Oh, there goes my alarm on the wall right there. Have to wait for it to ring. Getting a little music show from here. My grandfather, side story with this, my grandfather did scroll sawing. He passed away several years ago. And the pattern, he made this clock. And my grandmother gave it to me a few months ago. So in honor of my grandfather, that's why it's up. All right, so let's continue. So we took that one away from 18 and made it 17. We took that one and added it to the 4 to make it 5. Now we go 17 minus 5, and that equals 12. There we are. We are at our 12. There we go. So we're not at our 12. So the sum, the lengths of the two are this. The sunny side, or the shady side, is 17 inches long. And the sunny side is 15 inches long. Okay? And you can't see that. Let me lay that up there. And if we double check our work, 17 minus 5 is 12. So that's what you're going to be doing on the, what you're going to be doing today, okay? What I want you to do is on this page, on page 180, is to solve A, doing the method we just did. And then you're going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4 on page 181. Again, I'm going to, you're going to get those pictures of 180 and 181. And either you can have your parents print them out or just take a scratch paper and just answer those problems I want you to do and then just turn it in on Friday. Now, on Wednesday when we come back in. So my goal is I'm hoping that we can get Google Classroom going. So if we do this, you can automatically, instead of just printing out, you can submit your work onto Google Classroom through a program to make it easier on all of us. But we're almost there. I know a couple other teachers are doing this. They've had some experience in Google Classroom at schools they taught at, so they're familiar with it. I felt that I wasn't familiar enough, and I didn't want to pass it on to you guys to confuse you, so I just wanted to make it simple as possible. All right. So again, 181, I want you to complete 1, 2, 3, and 4. Practice on page 180, letter A at the bottom. So just follow this method I just taught you. If you have any problems with this, replay this video. Another thing I forgot to mention to you, the SPICSBAC. It will be times 2 this week because technically today we didn't have school. So there'll be times 2 for SPICSBAC. You will be getting the PDFs, the attachments for that. So just look at the email. And if you have any problems, let me know. And until then, God bless. And hopefully we'll see you all at school on Wednesday.